So guys, what should you expect from the J-15 that we saw, or the flanker that we saw on the teaser? So yeah guys, we're having the 9th wave update very soon, and we are gonna test the vehicles out and stuff. But while we wait, let's try to talk a little bit about it. We had the teaser, and a new flanker appeared there, and I already did mention a little bit on it, but I really wanted to put out there what you should expect from this vehicle. So this vehicle that you see, the flanker, is the J-15, and it's kind of complicated to really see the version out of this thing because there are some features that would be used in an older model, but overall, it is a J-15T, okay? Like you see some of these, like the engine is the main concern here, but it doesn't matter. The J-15 probably is the J-15T or a modernization of older J-15s that became the T. It doesn't really matter. Let's talk a little bit about the main features of this vehicle, okay? There are some in real life features that will not be, of course, implemented in the game, or it won't matter too much. And also, there are some things that will not be added right now, right? So it's probably for the future. But overall, the aircraft itself is a very high modernization of the flanker design. Of course, it was even based off of the Su-33. So obviously, it is a navalized Su-27, let's say, right? It's a navalized flanker. But of course, with the Chinese design doing a lot of changes to it so that it becomes domestically built aircraft, but also a domestically usable aircraft for China, okay? So first things first, in real life, for example, this vehicle, especially in the particular model that I think will be added, which is the T model that appears on the trailer, it does have a cut-to-bar capability, okay? So basically, it is able to be launched from, let's say, more... It's kind of funny to even say this, but more normal carriers. The normal is the cut-to-bar, right? And yeah, this aircraft was actually able to be used with that, which basically makes this aircraft able to be used in something like the Liaoning, but also on the Fujian as well. I'm probably butchering these names, but yeah, the carrier, the Chinese carrier that is based off of the Russian design, but also the new one that they just built and just got into service, right? So it is pretty interesting to see this because it's a flanker, but the J-15T, guys, really is that flanker that can do that, go along with the J-35s that they're planning to, they're, starting to get into service and stuff. So it is a pretty interesting design just because of that. A cut-to-bar capable flanker. But for in-game purposes, that doesn't change much. The major change that you're going to see here, guys, is basically two for the in-game purposes. The first one is that, yeah, it is going to have an ESA radar. You can see actually on the video itself that the radar, the radome of the vehicle actually is slightly different than any other aircraft. And that actually helps a lot with detecting targets that are almost behind you, basically, and to all places, basically, right? So what it means is that it's not only going to have an ESA radar, but it will have a pretty amazing side look capability on this radar, okay? But yeah, ESA is probably confirmed on this thing, okay? And of course, I mean, I gotta say, it's gonna be obviously having all the features that an ESA radar has, right? And it's cool to see this because although the J-10C is pretty amazing, a flanker design is always a little bit better than the J-10, let's be honest, for the in-game, let's say, gameplay style that we need to use, right? So it is pretty interesting. Of course, inside the cockpit as well, it will be different. You will have a different glass cockpit inside of the cockpit. It will be more fifth generation focused, right? The avionics, the design philosophy, everything is more fifth generation focused on this aircraft, including the radar itself, right? So it is a very modern radar that the Chinese put on this aircraft. The second thing is the weapon systems. Of course, we already had the J-11s, which do have some pretty interesting weapons, all Russian and of course Chinese build as well, just like the R-77, R-73, but also in the later models, the PL-8B, which is an amazing missile, and also the PL-12, right? All of these missiles will be upgraded on the J-15T, okay, guys? In real life, this aircraft is capable of using and normally uses the PL-10, which is, let's say, the next generation of IR missile, and the PL-15, which is the next generation of radar missiles. We are not going to have probably these two missiles right now. But I would imagine, looking at the trailer and everything, the missiles that we're going to have in these, and there are some compatibility problems there and stuff, but doesn't really matter. I think they're just going to add the pylons and just go with it until we can have the PL-10. The PL-8B, which is the missile on the J-11B and some other jets, J-10s and stuff, and also the PL-12A probably, which is the new version of the PL-12, which will have more range, and it will probably be here, right? Let's wait to see how these missiles will actually be like. The PL-8 we already know, but the PL-12 specifically, I think there's a lot of questions about it. Let's wait to see how this A model of the PL-12 will be, but an improved missile overall compared to the J-11s, okay? So main two features, AESA and this new weaponry, okay? There are some other little things, like, for example, enhanced structure. So they used a lot of composite materials to build the aircraft. So there's a weight reduction on the aircraft, so the performance would be increased just because of that, right? Improved durability as well. I would imagine that compared to the Su-33, so I would imagine that will help as well the aircraft a little bit, maybe in the game. And even radar absorbent stealth coatings to reduce the RCS of the aircraft, right? So I don't see that making too much of a difference because we don't go to these far distances where it would make a difference. But of course, it is something, right? Of course, it would feature a MAUS system, some form of countermeasure account that it's comparable to other flankers. I don't know how much as well, but it will be there. And then we have the main thing that I don't know exactly what they're going to do here. According to looking at the actual vehicles that we see, like the trailer itself, people were saying that it is probably a normal WS-10. That's the engine that I expect on this thing. But there were some prototypes, and I don't know how, progressed this is on the terms of the production of these aircraft. There were some better versions like the H and H2 models of the WS-10, which would make it be a lot better and a lot stronger. There is even some prototypes that would create like 10, 15 kilonewtons more thrust than the older engines, right? So I don't know exactly. So I'm not going to put my hand on the fire here, which is a Brazilian saying, like, I'm not going to, expose myself here to the risk of getting it wrong. I don't know which engine this aircraft will have, okay? It's a WS-10. It's going to be a strong engine. How strong? I don't know. It's going to be comparable probably. But depending on the engine that this thing has, with the AESA, and depending on how the PL-12A will be, this would be probably arguably as close as we can get for now in this update, the actual vehicle that would be the top tier for China. It's as close as we can get to an Su-30 SM2 in this update, I would imagine, for China, right? So I'm excited about this aircraft, and I think it will be amazing. Is it going to be the best flanker in the game? Probably not. Depends very much on the PL-12A, because the radar was going to be amazing. So if the PL-12A can be better than an R77-1, which I doubt a little bit, maybe, okay? But if not, yeah. And in a dogfight, I mean, it's going to be way lighter than the SM2, but it doesn't have the thrust vectoring engines, and that would make a difference on a dogfight. So we're going to have to do a dogfight between the J-15 and the SM2 to kind of try to look around, because it is lighter, right? So maybe it doesn't need the thrust vectoring, but yeah, and it does have the canards single placed, right? So I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be a 14.3, 14.7 jet for sure. It's going to be one of the best jets that we have in China. So yeah, exciting stuff. Another flanker but an exciting flanker, let's say, right? So basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Join the Discord down in the description, and I see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Or in the next video. Bye.